And we are live from Eastern Thailand, where it is now 5 p.m. Thailand Standard Time. And I gotta tell you, this is my 1,856th coconut. So much enjoying my time here in Eastern Thailand. I want to remind you that you're watching a very special edition of the Schubel Vision Elite program. As you know, for those of you who follow at home, last week I broadcasted live from Bangkok, and it was a great success, and people have asked me, can you continue broadcasting even though I know you're on vacation? Well, I got to tell you, for me, working in chiropractic is a vacation. So I seem like I'm always on vacation because I'm always working at what I love doing. I'm passionate, and I hope the same for you, my friend. If you're just joining us, please feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from. I can see Melissa Sanford is watching from jolly old England, most likely. Dr. Billy Chow from Australia. It's good. This week we've been having a lot of conversations about IFCO with Billy Chow because we're on the same time zone. Justin Kinsey-Wright is joining us, one of our Schubel Vision Elite members. Ernesto Fernandez, and if you're just joining us, please feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from. I can see Maria Teresa is with us from Peru. Lee Newman just got on, and hello to everybody. And I got to tell you, I have a smash bam program lined up for you for this next probably half hour. I don't know. It's probably going to be an hour and a half. I always think we're going to go short, but we end up going long. Zarek Bartley is just watching. If you're just tuning in, feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from. I've got some phenomenal information for you in regards to science. You know, so many times you hear people saying, there's no science behind chiropractic. You know, everybody's about the spiz, everybody's about the philosophy and the art, but there's no science. And I gotta tell you, if you think there's no science, you must be living under a rock, because there's an avalanche of science that is available to you if you would just participate in the conversation. I have to tell you that I am a member of the Foundation of Vertebral Subluxation Research, and they put out a phenomenal weekly program about different topics in research in chiropractic. So there's an avalanche of chiropractic research, and I want to share with you one of those topics that I had lined up for today. Let me see if I can find it here on my, there it is, yes. Now this is from the Journal of Pediatric, Maternal, and Family Health Chiropractic, Volume 2018. And the author of this study these are some of my favorite people. Pamela Stone McCoy, who Matt McCoy is known as the husband of Pamela Stone McCoy. She's a DC CACCP, and Clifford Taylor, DC, put out this study on the date April 9, 2018, pages 26 to 33, if you're playing along at home. And if you're just joining us, please feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from, and let us know what you think of the program. The objective of this study was the patient had been diagnosed with chronic asthma along with several other functional disorders, including insomnia, headaches, dizziness, neck pain, low back pain, stomach aches, constipation, diarrhea, allergies, eczema, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Holy smokes, is that a litany of dysfunction and dis-ease. Hello, Lisa Tack, good to have you on board. Edwina Waddell joining us. Welcome aboard. Feel free to say who you are and where on the planet you're checking in from. My name is Dr. Liam Schubel. I am broadcasting live from Eastern Thailand, at a place called Ban Nong Sang. Ban Nong Sang. I'm right outside of Aranya Patet. If you've ever been, probably about an hour or two away from some major temples over in Cambodia that many of you have probably been to, Angkor Wat. Jennifer Beck is just joining us. Good to have you on the program. Rashid Pol, hello. Mag, good to see you. Chris Araneda is on with us. And folks, do me a favor, like this, give me some hearts, share it, let other people know you're watching it. Let's continue along. So this poor 9-year-old boy had a litany of dysfunction in their body. He had underwent medical intervention throughout his life and had multiple visits to the emergency room. And for those of you who are in practice in chiropractic, gosh, how many times do we see parents that have children with asthma that are just sick and tired of their child being sick and tired, and this emergency rushing them to the hospital, and they're just so desperate, and they've been told that there's just no hope, and once that body starts to work right, well, I gotta tell you, good things start to happen. So this poor little boy, he had multiple levels of vertebral subluxation. That was found on the examination, along with objective evidence of dyskinesis and dysautonomia, determined through SEMG and thermal scanning. Now, this is what they did to help this boy. Joe Abretsky's watching us. Good to have you on board. And if you're just joining us, please feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from. Good to see Mike out from Long Island, New York. You're up early, my friend. Here was the intervention. The patient underwent chiropractic care to reduce vertebral subluxations and saw positive results. His asthma, along with other comorbidities, resolved. He reduced his need for medication to PRN and has not had an emergency room visit since beginning care. Something that is common to anybody who is a chiropractor. That's a common story. Good to have you on board. Sean Walker, Dr. Sean Walker, another Schubel Vision Elite member, joining us from Chi-Town, or Chi-Town, wherever that is. And Lula, Love Life Lula, is on board. Travis Corcoran is on board. Good, the party could start. Let's get going. Here was the conclusion of this research study. The case study shows that chiropractic care to reduce vertebral subluxations may lead to improved health outcomes. Yes, it may. It adds the current literature on positive outcomes of chiropractic care and children with asthma and other functional disorders. Further research, of course, is needed on chiropractic intervention, asthma, immunity, functional disorders, and their relationship to vertebral subluxation. So, the vision is every man, woman, and child on the planet checked for vertebral subluxation and adjusted when necessary from birth. Now, we've had some challenges to that vision this week, my friends, and I'm only going to address this briefly. I want to tell you about some great things that have been happening with the IFCO, but first I have to tell you, unfortunately, about a bear attack that we had this week. We had a rogue bear attack us on the social media, very effectively, I might add, too, as well. Used emotional anchors. And I got to tell you, if you watched that and you didn't know the truth behind the story, you would have been like, holy smokes. But you know me, so you know that I'm incapable of anything other than greatness. And it was the same litany of lies. This person has attacked me now for 4 years and been unsuccessful. I keep advancing, things keep moving forward. IFCO keeps growing. Sherman College keeps growing. You know, it's like one of my good friends and colleagues that's worked with me now for 22 years. Dr. Emily Broniak down in Peru. One of the things that she said when she found out that I was the president of the IFCO, let me get the exact quote. This is what she said. Congratulations on the presidency. Now, she's worked with me 22 years in Peru. I hadn't heard about the presidency. Very happy for you, and really the profession. Everything improves when you're in the driver's seat. Oh, and it's so true. But here's the thing. When you move people's cheese around, and just like I got to tell you, and it's ironic too, do you know the last time I had this level of pressure put upon me, this level of attacks, and it wasn't even bear attacks last time. The last time I had this level of bear attacks, though, I was in Thailand. I was on my honeymoon, if you can imagine this. I'm enjoying my honeymoon, just like I'm enjoying my time here with my two little babies, my 5-year-old Star and my 2-year-old Sky, and my smoking hot Thai wife. She was awesome. I love her. Totally supportive. And she's just like, you know, I got to tell you, I got feelings, so I get down, I get depressed, and my wife goes, you know what, we just keep doing the right thing. And she goes, everybody that knows you knows that you're going to keep doing the right thing. And so that's what we do. But I got to tell you, the last time I was in Thailand and I got attacked at this level was on my honeymoon, and that was when we were doing a board takeover at Sherman College of Chiropractic. Sherman College of Chiropractic was about ready to go under, and so I got on there, and I got to tell you, when you start changing the way things have always been done, that creates a lot of animosity from the people that like things to remain the same. And so I had these same kind of attacks, these same kind of, you know, what happened in Peru, what happened in Colombia, bullying, you know, I kind of think it's like, It's like the same thing when you have a powerful businesswoman, right? What do people do when they want to take down a powerful businesswoman? They say, oh, she's such a bitch, right? And, you know, like, oh, she's so domineering and manly. You know, it's like, no, she's a woman that knows what she wants, and she's going out there and she's getting it, and she's making it happen. And the same thing happens with men, I think. And a lot of times, you know, of course, it's very easy for a woman to get on and start crying. And I got to tell you, you watch that and you go, oh man, you feel sorry. I mean, I wanted to give the bear a hug, I have to tell you. I got to train her first before I can give her a hug, because she's got a lot of animosity and a lot of victim things. And, you know, it's like funny, because when you're calling out somebody as a bully, try not to be a bully, you know, like yourself. I mean, that would be important. But anyway, you know, the issue with this is every time that you try to move something forward, and we just had this issue in the IFCO, there was a lot of old guard there who, I got to tell you, I respect, and I consider them allies. And I was really shocked at this level of attack that's occurred as a result of just the difference in strategies that we have as far as moving the IFCO forward. And many people have been contacting me. I've had an avalanche of messages now as a result of this woman or the bear attacking me, just saying, hey, keep it up. You must be doing something right. And I got to tell you, we've seen more action in the IFCO since I've been made president now in 3-4 months than we've probably seen in the past 20 years. And I'm going to share some of that with you right now as well. I just got this message from Ronan Mendy, who is in Israel. He says, thank you, Liam Schubel, so right on with the chiropractic. Well, thank you, Dr. Ronan. It's a pleasure to serve you. Also a Schubel Vision Elite member, which, by the way, if you're not involved in that, www.schubelvisionelite.com. I've got to tell you, $75 a month, it's the best investment you're going to make in your entire life, because there's so many chiropractors that don't know who they are, don't know what they want, don't know what they want to do. They have good hearts, good hands, good minds, but they don't have the business systems. They don't have the communication, the sales systems, the marketing systems, the hiring and training systems, the mindset systems. And that's what we work on. I could see another Schubel Vision Elite member, Patrick Moore, is joining us, and he is doing phenomenal there in jolly old England. Bogdan Bobby Lanasotovich is joining us, and if you're just joining us, feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from. We're having a great time here in Eastern Thailand, and I hope you're having a great time watching the program. Hope you find it of value. If you do, please like it, please share it, please love it. Please send this all over the universe. Let's get the word out as to the movement that's taking place. And I wanted to share one of the wins that the IFCO has been having, because, you know, it's funny, the bear hasn't attacked the IFCO until now, until I become the president of the IFCO. But it's important, and I want to, I want to leave this with you because this is one of the titles. It's very important that you don't feed the bear. You know, the bear has been getting its information from Schubel trolls, and the bear is very hungry, and the Schubel trolls are very free up. They really want to give a lot of trollish information to the bear. Here's why you can't feed a bear. I got to tell you, for the most part, bears ignore people unless they feel threatened or think you have food. Since they do not naturally associate people with food, they rarely attack for that reason. However, after a bear receives food from these Schubel trolls, it loses its instinctive fear of people, and without this built-in fear, the bear approaches people in search of a quick meal, which the Schubel trolls are happy to give. This makes the bear unpredictable, bold, and dangerous. How dangerous do these bears become? Deadly. A bear that has eaten food from the Schubel trolls provided by a human approaches people with no fear. Fed bears are aggressive and will kill and even eat human remains. And that's kind of what we saw yesterday with this horrific. I mean, I got to tell you, some people, I got one message, the person said, self-pity, frustration, rage, tears, tragic comedy from the mother of all chiropractors, as she has the humility to describe herself some years back. An interesting combination of textbook slander combined with masterpiece theater. In the absence of critical thinking, people play on emotions. Remember that people buy ideas, even false ones, based on emotion, especially when they lack the critical thinking skills. So please, my friends, don't feed the bear. And let me tell you something about one of my favorite organizations on the planet, which is Kicking Gluteus Maximus. It's called the IFCO. If you don't know about it, check it out at www.ifcocairo.org. And if you're just joining us, please feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from. Let me share with you one of the major wins that IFCO has just had due to the change of strategy that we've brought about. you know, there was a reticence, and there was actually and it was a logical conclusion that a lot of people had. The IFCO for so many years, the strategy was really focused on the United States. It was originally called the FSCO, the Federation of Straight Chiropractic Organizations. And, you know, one of the things that I was involved in, I actually initiated, was changing the name of the organization and took the name Straight out. Because straight really doesn't mean anything in chiropractic anymore. And I felt that if we wanted to have a bigger impact and really get our true message out, which is the protection and promotion of the service of detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation, then we had to make some shifts. So listen to this. We changed the name to the International Federation of Chiropractors and Organizations. However, some of the old guard still really didn't feel comfortable on the world stage. They didn't know the issues that were going on in the world with chiropractic, and as you know, I travel all over the world. I've spoken on just about every major stage on the planet. I've spoken on just about every other chiropractic college that allows chiropractic speakers to speak on campus, and where they haven't, I show up off campus and fill the room, because people are starving for this thing called TIC, and that's one of the things that I think motivates the people that are on the board now at the International Federation of Chiropractors and Organizations. This is a message that we received from we call it Project Seth Levine, Brazil. Seth Levine came to the board. He's a longtime member of the International Federation of Chiropractors and Organizations, and he has some very good connections down in Brazil. Now, Brazil has been screwed up, I might say, by some of the other organizations that have been involved down in Brazil, WFC, and some other ones as well. They all have 3 letters, and IFCO has 4, by the way. And so Brazil's been kind of lost, and they've been fighting for legislation in that country because they started out on the wrong foot. They started out with a therapeutic model of chiropractic, and of course there's already a therapeutic model of treatment of musculoskeletal conditions in Brazil. It's called physiotherapy, and it's been around for over 100 years. So they were under attack because of that. Now, I've been involved in 3 countries legalizing chiropractic, and in all 3 countries I've just stuck to the detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation, and we've had no problems. So here was the message we got from the IFCO. This is from the leader of the largest chiropractic college in Brazil. We paid for his airfare to come to Sherman Lyceum, and Dr. Edwin Cordero, the president of Sherman College, was so generous. He donated the hotel stay and all the transportation, and of course free entry into Sherman Lyceum. We wanted them to see what a true chiropractic school looks like, and that it can be successful in that model. And that it had the philosophy, the science, and the art. So this is the message from Dr. Fernando Azevedo, who's in charge of the Brazilian program, chiropractic program in Brazil. Dear Dr. Levine and IFCO board members, last week I had the chance to experience a very special moment in my chiropractic career, maybe the most important after my graduation. As the dean of the Ambambi Morumbo Chiropractic School, that's in Brazil, Sao Paulo, the Lyceum was a keystone event for me. It has changed my life and my view about chiropractic. It has renewed my commitment to learn more and to get deeper into the profession in both education and politics. The kindness that you have shown by sponsoring my trip to Sherman Lyceum will affect hundreds, even thousands of students in South America, and especially in Sao Paulo, Brazil. As BJ said, you never know how far-reaching something you think, do, or say today will affect the lives of millions tomorrow. The event was stellar, and it reminded me about the enormous footprint of chiropractic when the correction of vertebral subluxation is kept at the core of our profession. Our planet needs us to think this way. Dr. Seth, as we discussed in Brazil, we are now in a very critical and potentially dangerous process of creating federal regulation. All the support that has come from you and the people of the IFCO has introduced me to make a big difference. I am grateful to you, and in no doubt will be part of this process moving forward. To Seth and the other board members of the IFCO, thank you so much for thinking of me, for reaching out to me, and for giving me the opportunity to grow chiropractic in South America. It will never be the same again. We will grow. Dr. Fernando Acevedo, coordinator of Amambai Morumbo Chiropractic School in Brazil. And by the way, you're watching a special edition of Schubel Vision Live from Eastern Thailand. If you're just joining us, please feel free to say who you are and where you're checking in from. And give us a lot of likes and hearts. We love to see that as well. So now let's get to people's favorite, I think, part of the whole program. You know, for those folks that stuck with us through the science, for those folks that stuck with us through the politics. And listen, I know you don't like politics, and politics is dirty, and gosh, so many times, especially yesterday, I was saying, why do I even get involved with politics and try to help these people when I get attacked by these malicious bears? I do it because I look at my children and I say, these children need to have their nerve systems optimized for life. We need to have chiropractors that are well trained in who they are, what they do, and why. We need to be giving back to the political organizations, to the educational organizations, and to the research organizations. We can do this. We can make this happen. But we've got to get off this attacking each other. And especially in a public forum. It's insane. I gotta tell you, all the haters of chiropractic, all the people that are trying to take down chiropractic, they were loving it yesterday. And all the people that were writing me were going, why on earth is this person doing this? And I think the person was, I want to give the person the benefit of the doubt. I want to say that they had good intentions, but you know, again, when you're listening to Schubel trolls, your information is faulty, and when you're acting on emotion and not facts and logic, I mean, I've never even received a phone call from this person to ask me about any of these things. So, kind of cracks me up. If I had an issue with somebody, I would call them on the phone personally and say, hey, what's going on about that? And by the way, in spite of all that, willing to work with anyone and everyone that is ready to move forward on this issue of detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation, promoting that and protecting that service for the world. So, let's not leave this on a negative tone. Let's get into the Schubel money tip. Now, this is a money tip, and it's a half-hour money tip that I did in my Schubel Vision Elite special group there. Which, by the way, if you're interested in joining, www.schubelvisionelite.com, you can check us out. It's $75 US a month. I got to tell you, it's going to be the best investment you ever make. No contracts whatsoever. Because I got to tell you, I talk to people all the time that are in these long 3-year, 4-year coaching programs, thousands of dollars a month, and I have some of those folks in my Schubel Vision Elite program, and they're saying, I've learned more in here, and I've had more profit in my operation, and more fun and more excitement in 3 months here at $75 a month. I am winning, #winning. So anyway, I expounded on this for about a half hour in the Schubel Vision Elite program yesterday. But I want to share just a little bit of it because I think everyone in the profession can benefit from it. You know, one of these things we see, because just students haven't been trained, is this flying 7 manipulation. You know, that you adjust the person, you say you adjust. You manipulate on the right, you manipulate on the left, you hammer 3 or 4 dorsals, then you hammer on the left and hammer on the right, and you go, great, you're all done. No pre-check, no post-check, no vertebral subluxation check. You know, maybe in your mind, maybe your intention is there, but no real determination of if there's a subluxation and have you corrected it, other than you've moved some bones. So I want to get into your head in speaking with, and I'm good friends with some of the top technique professionals on the planet. Donnie Epstein is a good friend of mine, and he always says less is more. I've listened to SOT people, less is more. Upper cervical people certainly say less adjusting is more. Our experience, and I've had experience seeing 1,000 people a week, the less segments I adjust, the better. I remember when I was a student in chiropractic college, and they said a maximum of 3, and I remember feeling like ripped off. I mean, what if there's 4 or 5? Very rarely does that happen, I have to tell you. So you have to understand what your objective is in chiropractic, and you also have to understand the science behind chiropractic. There's things called majors and there's things called minors. Now, you wouldn't know that unless you had read maybe volume 18, subluxation specific, adjustment specific. There's a ton of research, and Gonstead did a ton of research involved with this as well, of the ability to make a differentiation between a vertebral subluxation and a compensation. And what I'm going to tell you, and if you want, contact me privately or join the group. I'll give you the strategy that we use to check the body for vertebral subluxation. One of the things I find is that the most common thing of novice doctors and doctors that are operating with a low self-esteem and really an inability to communicate the objective of chiropractic and tie that to the objective that the patient or the practice member has. One of the things I see is symptom chasing, and the person is, they say they're adjusting, but they're really manipulating in the area of pain. That's hugely dangerous, I have to tell you. And I just saw Matt McCoy join us. He's the president of Chiro Futures. He would probably recommend adjusting based on symptomatology. He would probably not recommend that if you want to protect your license and if you want to protect your integrity. I got to excuse you maybe for the loud noises. It's rush hour here in eastern Thailand. We've got a lot of motorcycles going by. But, you know, one of the things that you have to learn is that there are majors and there are minors. And one of the areas where I find the majors is in the upper cervical region. So you always have to check that first, make sure that's clear. The second area of majors that I find is in the lower spine, generally in the lumbosacral region. And I have a very specific technique of how to make that happen. And if you want more information, go to schubelvisionelite.com and join and be a member. But I want to tell you that it's very important as far as the communication goes, that you're on the same page with the practice member. You know, as an objective straight chiropractor, I used to be kind of like not talking about symptoms. You know, just a patient would bring up the symptoms and I would say, that's it, no soup for you. You know, I don't treat symptoms, go out to a medical doctor, blah, 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 blah. Well, that's not a good practice building strategy, and I have to tell you, it's also not a very humane strategy. Symptoms are important to people. Now, I still don't treat symptoms. Not one of our clinics treats symptoms. But what we do is we relate what we're doing, which is our objective, to what that person is experiencing. And now you have to remember, vertebral subluxation causes all types of havoc in the nerve system and causes all types of havoc and dis-ease in the physiological systems of the body as well. And so I have to tell you this, when you start checking and adjusting and knowing that you know that you've corrected the vertebral subluxation, one of the things when I cover an office, people say to me, you know, the practice member runs out and says to the CA, he did so much less to me. And the CA starts to go, oh no, I got to explain all this. And what they say, but he went right to where it was. You know, he went right to where the thing was. I've never been adjusted like that. When you start getting a good understanding of where that vertebral subluxation is, what you're going to find is there's really not as many vertebral subluxations as you're thinking. That most of what you are moving are compensations to the vertebral subluxation. So that's a very important determination to check out. And I think the thing that you need to take away from this is be able to consistently, we use the touch and tell method, to be able to consistently tie what you're doing, your objective, the correction of vertebral subluxation, to what the objective of the patient is, or what the objective of the practice member is. So yeah, on every adjustment, I always add value by explaining where I did the adjustment, what nerves are affected, what physiological components can be affected by that. And by the way, that's also a great way to generate referrals. So these kinds of things, yeah, where's the wind? The hurricane, right. It looks like we're about to get rain, but that's okay. We're just about finished with our presentation here. So that's the Schubel Vision Elite Money Tip. Again, if you want to join our team, a lot of people are. Patrick Salimo, I see him on. He's a Schubel Vision Elite member, and he's doing phenomenal things in the group. We've got profit levels going through the roof. We've got personal enjoyment happening. We've got a lot of people taking vacations that have never been able to take vacations before because they've got the systems, right? They had the heart before. They had the mind for service, right? They have the hands, the technique, but they didn't know how to communicate chiropractic. They didn't have systems for that. They didn't have systems for business. They didn't have systems for marketing. They didn't have systems for sales. They didn't have systems for training, hiring. They didn't have systems for bringing on associates. They didn't have systems for mindset. Hey, Bobby Reese, Schubel Vision Elite member. Good to have you on board. And so what we offer is systems. And I got to tell you, I see so many chiropractors that are suffering, and they don't have the money when they're suffering to put out $1,000, $2,000 a month. Schubel Vision Elite, the reason we designed this is we're eventually going to hit 1,000 members. The reason we designed this, that's our first goal. The reason we designed this is we wanted to make this where if I'm suffering as a chiropractor, I'm not giving away my next born to join up with a coaching program. And I can see the results start to happen immediately for a minimal investment of $75. You really, I feel you can't lose at something like this. Larry Arbeitman is just joining us. Good morning. He's joining us from Manalapan, New Jersey. He is going to be, he doesn't know this, but he's going to be my personal chiropractor pretty soon. And he's also speaking at Sherman College of Chiropractic coming up this week. Larry, if you want to, and Larry's an IFCO member as well. Larry is going to be live broadcasting that. So if you want to join, feel free to check in on that as well. Folks, I got to tell you, it's been a real pleasure. Bobby Reese, Schubel Vision Elite member, on board as well. And I can see people from around the world have joined us today. I hope you found value in this. I hope you like it. I hope you share it. I love you and I appreciate you. And I thank you for checking in. Until next time, this is Schubel Nader out from Eastern Thailand for another special edition of Schubel Vision Elite. And by the way, don't feed the bears.